Good evening. Welcome to a very second channel video. So, ignore this and these and the weird. Just let me tell you a story. Let me weave you a tale. Many years ago, I made. I'm going to put you down. You're on a tripod today. I'm going to put you down. I'm going to move some stuff. I'm going to show you the thing I made like a decade ago. Zaboombox. Mica MB42s, original MB42s when I started. Why does my lens look like there's a... Alright, you know what? Let me get a better lighting situation and clean this goddamn camera lens. Okay, I think it's working better now. So, way long ago, before the start of this channel, my job was to figure out how to make money to live. Because I was living with my parents and I was into audio, and I was starting to do this Reddit thing where I was recommending people things, but I'm like, no. What I need to do is figure out the product people want. And so, we're back to Zaboombox. I was going to attempt to, what's the opposite of mass produce? Minor produce? This lovely thing. And it was quite well engineered for me being like, I don't know, I feel like I was 10 years old, but not. I'll give you a quick overview if you don't want to go back and watch my actual footage of me building that, because that's like 13 years old. So, turn this around. Tilt down. Mica. These are the newer Micas. I obviously swapped them out. But Mica MB42X on these. A very dusty SMSL SA36A Pro. Which is important, it's that model, because those were 12 volt they ran off of. And then I had like fake carbon fiber stickers on cutting board with surround tape foam, and I built a handle frame. In fact, you know what? Let's just tear this thing apart. And by tear it apart, I mean let's show you one of the features that this thing had. Which, because, look, boomboxes has always been sort of faux pas. You got 26D batteries, and you're walking around ghetto blasting and annoying everyone. But I was really like the rebel back in the day. I was like, fuck you! Headphones and IMs in public? Nah, dog, I'm gonna carry around speakers. And this thing I built before Bluetooth speakers were good. Now Bluetooth speakers are amazing. I can come over here. We can wander around my basement for a second, and we can find one on the floor. Boom, there. Tri-bit Stormbox Blast. I did a full review of this thing. This thing is waterproof, convenient. It's got 2 passive radiators on the side. It projects really well. The battery lasts forever. It looks cool. It's comfortable and convenient. Hell, it'll charge your fucking phone. These didn't exist when I built Zaboombox. That would have been like the dream. So, how does an audiophile who wants to listen to music, wants to bring their party with them, how do they do it? Well, Zaboombox. In fact, I still own zaboombox.com. That's where my merch site is. But if I put this down here, I can show you the... So... I took some, I forget what these were, just power plug extensions, like little ratcheting ones. Both speakers can detach. The speakers were held in place. I promise we're getting somewhere with this video. Stick around, we're going outside. So I built this frame, which was just, again, cutting board. And I don't know why I'm filming with the camera not facing the right direction. Let's try this again. So, cutting board. Forstner bits to give little place, because I put some thick, heavy felt feet on this. So that kept it from sliding off. And then there was just some 3M dual lock at the side of the speaker clicked in to the vertical. So I only needed 3 pieces of cutting board. One to hold the amp and protect an ugly front. The amp. A handle here, which, again, 3 Forstner bit holes. So that this frame was what I was building. Screwed together nice. This is all stuff I built in the old grandparents' house way before 2015. And so the speakers were just attached. They were detachable with these things were usually for like 12 volt, but I wanted to be able to take the speakers off and have it so it's more like a safety catch. So you can't rip anything. These things were important. And so you could just literally roll it back up, put the speaker back on, and then I would go click, and I just pushed it together, and now that speaker is attached. And I would take this places. It had this battery pack. Oh my god, cat hair. There's literally garbage in it. This battery pack, which still lights up and can still charge, produce 12 volt, which if I turn that on, that turns this on. That gives you access to the amp through this. And I could technically plug my phone in, which we can do right this second. Hold on. Wait, why would I plug in a phone when I have a Shanling M5 Ultra? So if I plug this in here and hit play. Now this is going to get me copyright strikes and everything, so I'm just going to scream over it. Yeah, we got this maxed out because we're limiting the voltage there. But speakers, like real speakers. And wow, that needs to get deoxed. One of the best listening experiences of my entire life, and I am not joking here. I've been to shows. I've got $17,000 in speakers sitting there, if you count the bottom mon things. One of the best listening experiences of my memorable life was me taking this boombox, the zaboombox, to the park by my parents' place. It was a little park for barbecues. And there was no one ever there, and there was no one ever barbecuing. It was Yonkers. No one was fucking barbecuing Yonkers. But I set this up. I separated the speakers out 6 feet. I sat on the other picnic table, and I just listened to things. I had a little Bluetooth. I had a little MPOW, probably Bluetooth 3 adapter on it, so I could have my phone, which was a Moto Z Force 1, just Bluetooth to it. I was listening to music, and it sounded amazing. And there was several reasons for this. Number one, I was kind of scared because I'm playing music in a public spot and oh shit, people are going to hear it. And if you watched my height dominance video where I discussed how higher speakers are more engaging for you, the listener, because you're more tend to be afraid because you're a human. Humans, when something is small, it's like, oh, we're not afraid of that. When there's a bear and he's 7 fucking feet tall, we're like, we are programmed internally to be more kind of afraid of a big thing. So having your speakers up higher, I'm trying to point. Let's see how this, let me flip the screen. There we go. Now I can see. Having your speakers, instead of like the normal position there, having them higher, which also there's reasons because the TV has to be in line, gives you a more impressive fear. Like it's impressive, but also it's like your body's into like this fight or flight because you're listening to music. With this thing, I was in fight or flight because I was embarrassed. I was like, oh shit, I'm doing something bad. I'm in a park listening to music out loud. Other people can hear it. And then it sounded better. Same reason why the blackout thing upstairs does that, because you're afraid. Somehow fear, we need the guy for, what was a Scarecrow. We need Scarecrow's powder. If I could sell you Scarecrow powder, all your music would sound fucking phenomenal. Because you'd be, and the music would just be like, your heart would pound and your hearing would get better because you're trying to run from a predator. Music. I know, it sounds bullshit, but that's more plausible than 99% of the bullshit things I hear audiophiles saying. So let's collapse this back together. A little yank and a pull and drop and a seat the feet and then push that in. This isn't long enough to, actually, is it? Oh, look at that. Look, it's almost going to be able to stay there. But what we're going to do right now, actually, I'll turn up the volume on this thing, which I think that's up. I forget which way the volume knob goes. All right, we're going to open up my back door here. I keep forgetting what the hell these doors are called. I remember, and then it's like gone. But we're going to open up my back cellar door. But we're going to take some stuff out of my basement. I was using this as a paint booth, and I probably have to clear that up. But what I've decided, since I haven't heard them in a while, and I don't have an excuse to hook them up in my listening area here, Klipsch 9s. I never sold them. I sold the 5s. I sold the 7s because the fucking 9s. These are huge. I mean, they're literally, zaboombox is the size of like a quarter of one. So I've got the boot cart stands, which are nice and light, and I can carry them. I've got these pipe adapter things. I'm going to put on the feet of those so they don't sink into the grass. And we're going to go and essentially set up an outdoor listening space using my EcoFlow power station that I bought. I spent $450 on for camping. We're just going to walk into my yard because it's going to be 80 degrees today and sunny. I'm going to bring out a fucking lawn chair. I'm going to go find my umbrella thing that'll clip to the lawn chair that's in my garage. And we're going to set this up. I have a bunch of extension cords between the two because they're powered. I'll probably Bluetooth at first, but I also have a fiber optic and I can hook up an adapter up to my phone, blah, 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 if I want to get true sound quality. But we're going to just go into the middle of I have 11 acres of property. We don't use 11 acres of property here at Zeos, and we need to. So the only choice I have to make is do my facing outward so the sound travels past my house into my neighbors, or do I just turn it around so the horses the only thing can hear the music? Because I have a feeling what I'm about to do is going to be one of the best listening experiences of my life. Because we're losing the room. I don't think you understand why I'm doing this. It's not just, oh, go outside, oh, be afraid. No. That's not part of it. Ask Golden Sound how many dampening panels are in his listening space. It's like 670,000. There's a million of them. And he's removed half of them now to get more of the room. But when you go outside, when their floor is grass and the sky is infinitely tall, I guess wherever the atmosphere ends would be technically the ceiling, and the only thing you have to bounce sound off of is trees, you lose the biggest problem with reproducing natural sounding audio, which is the room. You're in a confined space and things are bouncing around. Now, I'm probably not going to get a lot of low end because you need low end to trap the bass. If you ever did anything that's sort of like live sound outside, they have 22-inch drivers pushing 140 dB to get low end to try to be there. And this is not going to do that unless I put a subwoofer under the seat I'm sitting on. We're not that mad science hour today, but we're definitely mad science hour. So I'm going to go and I'm going to make a couple trips out. Bring the speakers. I'm bringing the stands out first. I'm going to bring the speakers out second. And then I'm going to bring my power thing and my chair out. And then we're going to set this up. I'm going to see if the true answer to people spending $250,000, $300,000 on audio to make it better, if the answer is just go the fuck outside. Because I have a feeling it's going to sound amazing. So, let's walk away from that while it's playing music and sounding amazing already. Literally Mica MB42s. These, by the way, are from Firebolt Tool. They're welding goggles, and they're kind of green. If you watch my coverage of the eclipse, I got these as a joke because they look like big bug eyes. Most comfortable sunglasses ever. Like, yeah, everything's green, but my eyes are wide open and I can see everything. So, if you're following Zeos because he's a normal guy and you want to be like him, blatantly not. Anyway, I ran to the garage and got this because if I don't have a Berlin Sport with no tip steering to help me carry these heavy bastards out there, then what the fuck am I even doing this for? So I'm going to load the speakers in here. I'll go grab my battery pack from upstairs and we'll set up. By the way, back of house. Again, let me flip this around. I don't know why I'm doing this. Neighbors are that way. Trees. Chewbacca's buried there. Trees. And that's all horse farm there. And then that's a cliff and a road. So I'm going to set up somewhere over there where that little boll weevil or something is running, either facing the back of the house or facing that way. Either the sun's going to be right above my head. There's not a cloud in the sky, but it's not hot. It's still early in the season. It's almost the end of April. It's the end of April. So there's no bugs really. This is a perfect time. I've tried to do this last summer, and I was just like, it's too hot today. It's too hot today. I mowed the grass yesterday. Birds are singing. Wind is breezy, but not super bad. No call for rain. Let's fucking do this. Ignore the hair, too. Just Dat's out here to entertain me. So here's what they look like. And I should have mentioned that when I returned or sold the 7s, I didn't sell the extension. So I have enough cord, and this is important because it uses these proprietary, well, they're not proprietary, but they're like marine grade screw-in terminals. So I have 2 6-foot extensions, and I think that's a 12-foot solid run, which gives me 24 feet. So pull the tension out of this. I'm going to start them super wide. I realized I got to get the power cord and the battery pack from in there, so that'll be fun. Power pack's not that heavy. I don't need the cart anymore, but I do need, you know what? I need the power pack and my chair, so maybe I will just bring this back. But for now, this is where we're sitting. I'm gonna have to figure out distance and balance, which is annoying because, as you can see, I didn't want the pointy feet just sinking into the ground, so I put those things on it. And they're kind of sliding. Once these things start producing low end and shaking, I haven't gotten the different SD cards, so this might stop at any moment because this one's formatted for the normal DJI 2 and we're recording on the 3. These got sweaty on my forehead. Bad mistake. So now I'm going to go look for the umbrella. I got a USB to SPDIF converter, the SMSL PO100. I was looking for the Zerda. I can't find my Zerda. The Ico Zerda, which is a really compact version of that. And I'm going to wheel it over. But first, umbrella, because I don't want to die in the sun. I should point out, now that I've gotten the umbrella, which is probably going to fail when I try to mount it to this chair, I have that boombox, the one way, oh, let me zoom in. Okay, this is why I want the 4 to have swapping controls. Touch, there we go. So you see the speakers way out there? See the boombox way out there? That boombox is playing as loudly as I would be comfortable listening to it over there. You barely hear it. I hear Billy Joel's playing. So the fact that... You gonna fall off? No, you good? Cool. I'll go down together. That, for scale purposes, the inner diameter of that fire pit is 5 feet across. So, you know, field of view is a very important thing for scale, and you don't understand quite how large this space is in my backyard. It's pretty big, and those speakers are far away. I'd say 150 feet. So we should be okay to play them in this direction. Again, I could just rotate them and put the chair in the back facing the house, which would actually probably be a better view. It is quite a spectacular view of the house. This is why my advice is wait for a pandemic and buy it when you never have to go into anyone's office. $610,000 for people wondering. Everyone's like, you keep it a secret? No, I paid $610,000 for like 11 and a half acres and that giant fucking house. But I bought it right before someone called. So the real estate agent, after I wrote paperwork, all right, new SD card. Hopefully I got some savable footage off the previous SD card, which was giving me slow write errors because this camera's faster. It's a whole thing. I'm back down here to enjoy some air conditioning for like, well, actually it's dehumidification for like 12 seconds. I got a bottle of water. I don't have any suntan lotion, so I'm probably going to burn. I do upstairs. I should go back upstairs and put suntan lotion on. I'm dumb. This is dumb. Don't be dumb, stupid. Don't be dumb. You know what? I'm not going to be dumb. I'm going to go up, put some suntan lotion on, and then take you, now that you're working outside, and hook that up, and let's see how it goes. Okay, now that I look like I'm... Keep in mind, I'm only half Italian. The other half is Irish or Polish. We burn. I've looked like lobsters before. It's not fun. And today, there's no clouds. And even though it's April, I hate people who are idiotic and like, it's December. I'm not going to get a sunburn. You will. You'll have like 80% chance to get a 100% sunburn. So I had this facing the other way. Couldn't hear a thing it was playing. It's been playing for 4 seconds it sounds amazing. All right, let me adjust. There's so much things out of alignment. So I had to move that one back like 3 feet. Because there's no way to like adjust or judge this. I should have my laser out here that does the 360 degrees, but the height I'm not gonna be able to adjust. The angles are actually pretty close. I'm not gonna kill myself over a slightly misaligned angle. And I had to take the grills off, both because we need maximum SPL and the remote control was failing to work. Because it's competing now with the sun. Indoors, the sun is usually not a problem. I mean, it can be depending on your house. But, so I've got 20 feet apart. I should go get a tape measure. Is that a cat meowing at me? I should go get a tape measure to measure to the seat. But I'm just trying to listen to like the center vocals and then adjust. But the seat's the easiest thing to move. Because I can literally pick that up and orbit it there or closer. And I've got a 100-foot fiber optic cable, which are currently... It ain't gonna work. All right. So I can work the remote from at least here. If I go back over to the seat, I'm not 100% sure it's going to see. Yep, we are absolutely working. And I could hear it echoing in the valley. Let me put on, because I never have it on, let me put on wind reduction on this, because I'm sure it's bothering you guys right now. Is wind reduction better? It was like literally 5 seconds to do that, so it either worked or didn't work. It might ruin the audio quality overall, but we're here. So let me show you what it looks like from this perspective. Very small speakers, very far apart. I always just judge the angle of the side. I might want to make them fully directionally at me. I usually, in a house, I usually point them a little bit further out. So like this is the center point. This is the center point of the left speaker. This is the center point of the right speaker. We're listening currently to Gooey by Glass Animals. And I put this unit way over here. And I really should have this in the shade as well because it's going to get real hot. We are pulling. Let me unmute that. Let me see what we're pulling. Scream so the music doesn't get on. 35 watts, 26 watts, 63 watts, 42 watts. So yeah, we got plenty of, it's 22 hours. That unit will run this setup, playing music for 22 hours. And we're not at maximum volume. I am trying to judge I'm going to try to use my shade. I am shade. There. That's maximum. Maximum is currently playing, which shouldn't break the speakers, but we'll play with it. I officially feel like a YouTuber today, because this is some shit that, you know, Mr. Beast would have done day 2 of being a YouTuber. Like, I built a speaker setup in the garden, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, that's not what I always wanted to be. I don't want to be a YouTuber. I just want to talk about audio stuff because it makes me happy and it makes you happy. But now, this makes me happy. There's some kill playing. I'm using the same unit as a source, USB to the adapter to go fiber optic, so I can move 100 feet away if I needed to. And I actually move the seat closer, further away, left, right, up, the tilt, the angle, everything. It's so hard to judge. If I were to do this like professionally, I'd probably have a string-based system where I have like a triangle, drop a weight, has exactly 25 feet, all marked, drop another weight, and then the third one is on the triangle, and it obviously centers. And then I can just look at all the measurements and then adjust across and be like, all right, I'll eyeball line it up between the marks and the string. And I could probably do it that way. That one's sort of tilted back. Like it's a little leaning back and shooting up. I didn't put the feet mount in because that's actually a pretty dry section. So I don't think it's going to sink. I left that one on the thing. I may have to put 2 feet of that one up the 1/4 inch. It'll raise it, or 1/2 inch. I'm going to have to. It's just driving me mad. I also wish I had a table. I'm going to have to go use that thing as the table. So let me go roll that over here. And while I do so, I'm going to listen to... That sounds so good. This is some shit right here. I can now control volume on this. The USB will actually output volume control, so I don't have to use remote, which is excellent. So I just nailed the speakers to maximum. I had this thing going. Like, going. And there's some dropouts every like 10 or 12 seconds, like stutters. And I'm not sure if that's me clipping the amplifiers and the speakers, because they're trying to do some bass. There is no bass and treble controls on these, I don't think, unless I'm thinking about the app. Maybe the app has control. There is a subwoofer out, and the remote has a subwoofer control, so I'm tempted to bring the battery pack closer than that to me and then plop a sub right by my feet. There'd be a problem with delay since these speakers are so far away. But yeah, no, this is as good as I thought it was going to be. It's hot. There are luckily no bugs except for the ones going and behind me on the grass. But I think you could hear that guy. I think bugs. I think this should be something high-end audiophiles. If you're going to spend $6 million in your fucking next audio setup, I mean, but instead of just being boring and putting it in a room where you can sip your whiskey and, I mean, I could smoke a cigar out here, no one would care. I don't advise smoking cigars, they stink. But, and they're bad for you. But, there's no room to correct. And you know what? The bass isn't even like that anemic. I'm too like shocked at the depth. When you're talking about soundstage and like imaging depth, because these are good speakers and I reviewed them in the house, but holy crap, is it a whole different ball game when you like they're the size of the entire world, like. And I wish I had some music I could play that I knew wouldn't get me copyright striked or banned, but this is more for me, and I'm just bringing you along for the journey. The sucky bit is when I have to tear this all down, put it in this cart, and roll back this mysterious windstorm. Actually, look at the clouds. Those are wild looking. Like, it looks some Farscape shit going on there. And the wind is picking up, so this umbrella is probably going to fail, hit me in the face. The speakers shouldn't fall over unless we hit like 25-mile-an-hour gusts. Because those, you know what? Those speaker stands, the boot cart speaker stands, are real expensive. They're like $500, and that's way too much. They should be like $150. He would sell 1 million of them. But they're pretty stable. Like, they're not super tall. They're only about 26 inches tall. And they're going to do better than any other speaker stand you're going to bring out here, except for maybe like legit concert ones. But those require the speakers to have a hole in the bottom to slide the pole on. Go watch my Soundbox, B-O-K-S, Soundbox review. That thing comes with a huge speaker stand that's designed for outdoors. And it's super lightweight and aluminum. But, you know, these are real speakers. These are, I would call these HiFi speakers, 100%. The bugs now are just buzzing around me. It's great. This is something you don't get when you're indoors, is the bugs. But, yeah, no, I do recommend an EcoFlow or a Jackery or one of the power packs that oh my god, the imaging is stellar. And I can't play much of it because I want this to go on YouTube unless I give it to BitWolf or I just start editing out the audio. But what's the fucking point if you can't hear the audio? Maybe I'll do a separate video for patrons where I don't care about what's playing. You know what? If you're watching this on YouTube, on the second channel, and you want to see the extended version of this shit, check out my Patreon, because there's no copyright checks there. You're paying to see the content. If I kill a fly with my bare hands, it's definitely going to be on there. So, future Zeos. From this point on, from this clip on, everything else is basically Patreon content. Go. Alright, we are back, and I am pausing it. Welcome back. If you're a regular viewer on the second channel, I'm recontinuing. I had about 40 minutes maybe of footage I've done walking around, doing things that's only available to patrons. So if you want to check that out on Patreon, I'll link it in the description. This is Alright, so I walked into the house because I had to bring some stuff in there, and I used the I could use the facilities there. I felt like I live here. But I went to the house, and it's been fine until I went into that house, and then I heard the house creak from the wind. And if the house creaks from the wind, it's windy. I look outside, and this umbrella is like freaking out. I'm like, so I'm running back out here. So one of the negatives, just one of the negatives, is the wind might destroy your shit. if I had more properly set up speaker stands, like the fact that there's the silicone on there that makes it nice and soft, but it also wiggles. It's not like a solid base. Yeah, this is phenomenal, and everyone should have this. And if I could have robotic speaker stands, all-terrain robotic speaker stands that would carry the speakers out of my house, so I could be like, I think I'm gonna go take my tea out in the listening veranda, or fuck, I don't know. And it could just hit a button, and they would come off their charging stands and drive out here and park in the exact spot GPS located to that position. And then I'd obviously either just have a chair out here or bring a chair. Fuck, if I'm building magic robots, just the robot also carries my chair. And then I come out, it would listen, it would be charged off the robot's batteries, it'd play to each other. I don't know how I would do signal. At that point, I think I'm probably doing something like the Boo Cart. Like, I could actually, technically, if I had another one of those battery packs, or two smaller ones, the Boo Cart A700 towers that I never take out and use could come out here. I don't think they'd work as well because of the tweeter design. Although, you know what? Bullshit. They're a horn tweeter. They're not as horny as the 9s, but I bet they would work. It would be weird throwing the bass out the back, but fucking cares? There's $7,000 speakers that are sitting in my basement not getting used, and they're wireless connectivity. So all I'd need is the hub with one of them connected to either Bluetooth, or the hub is with me and I'm plugged in and my source is like a little connected to the chair. So the chair has a little battery pack that runs the source hub. Those things would be independently powered on their little motorized scooters. And I would just, this is fine. And I could be like, you know what? I feel like position 2 today. And it would just rotate somewhere else. And that'd be amazing. And if you're a rich asshole, which I don't think there's any rich assholes. Are there any rich assholes watching this video that have like $500,000 they want to spend on a speaker system? Instead of spending $250,000 on speakers, $100,000 on cables. Wait, let me correct that. Instead of spending $100,000 on speakers, $250,000 on cables, and another $150,000 on source gear, do this shit. Do weird shit. This you could measure how good it is, because when you need to measure without an anechoic chamber, they literally bring it outside, they put it up on like a 10-foot post, and they measure and hope the wind doesn't get to it. That's how you measure things to make sure they're perfectly accurate. You know, I could probably trim the trees, or, you know, if I wait, because we're still end of April, there's not a lot of leaves on these trees. Once we're like mid-June, July, those trees are going to be like a wall. There'll be less wind, but they'll also be able to either trap or reflect sound, which could be good or bad. But no one does this shit. Like, I was trying to think if I could invent a cover that you put over them, because it would have to fight off morning dew. Obviously waterproof. I thought maybe like an outhouse, like an actual building, that when you come out here, you open it up, one side opens up and it collapses onto the ground next to it. There shouldn't be just like one I'm in the state of Pennsylvania, right? I know for a fact someone else out in the state of Pennsylvania is listening to decent speakers outdoors today. I don't know who you are, and I don't know how decent a set of speakers, but it's better than, it could be someone in their garage, working on the garage, and just bring their speakers that they use in their garage a little bit further out. If I wanted to do this for realsies, I have those speakers in the garage, by the way, like the big JBLs, like the big, like 15-inch mid-range JBLs. Horns the entire size of the 9s. The problem would be rolling them across the grass. Even on rolling things, they're on like steel wheels, so I couldn't just roll them out here. This has been lovely. This is one of those days that if I don't repeat it over and over again, I will remember it for years. Remember that day where it was 70 degrees and slightly breezy, and I had a beautiful view, and the birds were like swinging around the speakers, and I listened to that one song like for an hour. The Halloween soundtrack came on, the really creepy like doo 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 doo, and I was blasting that. I'm like, if anyone hears that, they're gonna be so freaked out. Yeah, do I recommend this? Yes. Are you gonna piss off neighbors? Possibly. But I don't see why you couldn't organize a couple of your friends to go to a park, a public park, set something up like this with a battery pack, and just hang out, listening, taking turns. Don't be a menace to society. There's a movie about that. Just try it. Even if you only get to play it for an hour before someone shows up to stop you, it's worth the hour. It's worth the effort to hear what no reflections, where the nearest reflection surface is the fucking moon. Is the moon out? No, I guess not. The ionosphere is the nearest reflective surface above this pair of speakers. And that makes a huge difference. And I wonder, like, obviously I love the Klipsch 9s, but like, what would the Mons sound like out here? What would my favorite speakers sound like with no walls? Maybe that'll be something I figure out. Although I bet they would get really fucking hot being made of solid aluminum. These are still made of wood. Probably would weird things out. Glue would melt. Oh, it'd be all bad. Anyway, I'm going to probably tune it in because I want to go inside and start making dinner. Tonight's tomato sauce. I have sausages, and I just felt like I need tomato sauce. Although I don't have ricotta cheese. I fucking love ricotta cheese. Anyway, thank you for stopping by this second channel video. I might film a little bit more as I'm putting things away or lugging them down the stairs. It's the taking out was exciting because it was exciting. Now it's like, I gotta fold the umbrella up and I gotta go outside. I don't have my glasses. I brought my things in the kitchen to clean them, and then the wind started. So yeah, patrons and subscribers to our subscribers. You guys who've been watching this uncut, thank you so much for your support. If you're on the second channel and just a puppy, thank you for subscribing here. I know this is probably some of the weirder content, but content is content. I'm just here to entertain myself, really. And I think I might have been paused enough that it would probably stop playing. Let's see. Nope. Okay, Yoshi Horikawa's playing. There's crickets. It's ironic because I'm already outside. I'll see you in the next one. Just because I'm me, I managed to get everything on here without stopping the music playing. Everything's on there. Now, will it make it to the house? I doubt it. Stopping because YouTube. Hair's just the worst. Get rid of hair. No one needs hair. I like mine, though. So 2 days later, wrap up. Ignore this. I don't know if I videoed it, but I did end up moving the speakers about 10 feet apart instead of about 22 feet apart. Kind of ruined the magic. I moved the seat closer. I gave it like a 10-minute listen or 5-minute listen at that point, and it was just not as special. More clear, more detail, but it lost that huge depth. So part of the magic is probably putting things far away from each other, far away from you. Like my setup here, I'm probably 10 or 11 feet apart there, but these speakers specifically work in parallel like that. So, and I'm mildly limited the space because of structural beams and things like that. But outside, the only thing that's stopping you from making it big is Mother Nature itself. So again, thank you all for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe I'll do it again in the future, but different, bigger, stronger, built to hurt. Just start wheeling out some extra towers. They're just sitting here. Look at his hair. This is the channel where Fox Given is 0. And I'll see you in the next one.